Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm working on the third part of the 1982 Sportster restoration project. It's been a while since we had a chat. My wife and I spend a lot of time up in North Carolina in the summer because it's so freaking hot here in Florida. You can't ride anyway, and I trailered the BMW up there, and it's delightful on the nice curvy roads, gotta say so. This installment is about replacing the rims on the bike. As you can see by the front rim beside me, there has been a problem. It seems like the first owner of the bike ran into a curb or something and severely dented the rim. So the next item to get this bike on the road is to replace this rim. So I went and I looked online and found a package deal of a new rim and spokes, and it was made in China. I could not find a new rim made in Italy. So the China rim, even though it's called new old stock, it's actually new stock. And people who are hunting for the 19-inch front rim need to find one made in Italy, just like this one. That is truly new old stock. So I raised the bike up, took the front wheel off, and undid all the spokes, saved them away, and took the hub out and put the hub into the center of my Chinese-made rim and laced it up lightly so that it was all wiggly. And I'd never done spoking before, spoke lacing. So it was kind of intimidating, although the write-up in the book is really good in the service manual, and there's lots of YouTube videos. I didn't have the balancing tool to balance the wheels and tires and true it up, and I didn't have a spoke torque wrench. So I took this up to a local shop, and the reason for that is that the Harley dealer didn't have anybody who knew how to lace wheels. Surprise. And the Kawasaki dealer didn't have anybody who knew how to lace wheels. And the Honda dealer had somebody who knew how to lace wheels but wouldn't lace any wheels but Honda wheels. So I ended up at a local shop that deals with used Harleys and other bikes, and they said they had an expert that is a Harley specialist and also leases up wheels. So, being my only option, staying in state basically, I took the loosely laced up this assembly, up to them, and I said, here it is. And they asked, is it made in China, the rim and the spokes? And they said, yes, it does. And they said, oh, there's usually a lot of trouble with that. And I said, well, do you want to try doing it? And they said, yes. So they did. Now, from a far distance, it almost looks like it's good. But I took some pictures of the reality, and this thing is really an abstract piece of art. There are all sorts of problems with it. Some spokes are apparently too short, some spokes are apparently too long. The guy who was doing it claimed that they were aluminum and they might snap off if he tightened them any tighter. I don't know how he could tighten them any tighter. He looks like he took a pair of vice grips to them They're only supposed to be tightened to like 50 inch-pounds. So it's beyond me how he took so much time and produced something so bad. I had a discussion with the owner of the shop. The guy wanted to charge me for 3 hours of labor, and I said, first of all, you knew this was Chinese coming in, and secondly, the guy should have known long before 3 hours that the spokes apparently weren't going to work. So the 3 hours of time the guy took to create this masterpiece, we cut in half. So I still ended up paying for half of the labor on this. I'm going to have to take a bolt cutter and cut these things out. Hopefully didn't warp the rim in the process. Got to check and see if that it lies flat still. There's no excuse for this. When the guy claimed that it was aluminum spokes, I said, go get a magnet, and the magnet, ding, clung right to the spokes. So they are steel spokes. He wanted to replace them with stainless steel spokes. And I said, you realize that stainless steel doesn't have the hardness of steel, so you won't be able to muscle them in place any better than these spokes. He claimed, well, they're the wrong spokes. Well, all the spokes, when I unpacked them, were the proper set of two sizes, one with a long bend and one with a short bend. They were all the same length. So how some stuck out on one side and some couldn't be tightened down all the way on the other leads me to believe that this expert really wasn't very good. So I'm gonna take a bolt cutter, cut these out. I have to go get new spokes, and I'm gonna do it myself. So I figured at the price this guy was charging for this kind of artwork, I could buy the balancing wheel and I could buy the spoke torque wrench and give it a fair shot. I mean, I've got a nice service manual description of it. There's lots of YouTubes on it. So we're going to give it a shot and see how that works. And on we go. Hi guys, I'm back. And I cut out all the spokes. So this is the rim that remains after the Bozo expert was done. And I wanted to see if this rim was warped. And it is. So, I guess when you use a pair of vice grips and foot-pounds of torque on the spokes, you end up warping the wheel. So, I've got to buy a new rim. Lovely. Such an experience. So, the message here is, if you got the time and you don't know who's doing the work, do it yourself. That's the only way to be sure it's done right. Do it yourself, have the right tools, follow the directions. What could be more simple than that? Well, maybe lacing a wheel is a little more difficult. We'll see. Next step is to order all the frickin' parts and start lacing it up myself. Here goes.